What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today when I talk to you about Hologram, I want to do my weekly update on what's been really influencing it and just my general thoughts. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So this past week, it did go down roughly around 5.54%, so a little bit more of a pullback. As far as news, their last news did come out on the 21st. So they put out news on the 17th, 21st, and then also the 11th, all pretty much saying the exact same thing, that their investment in either Bitcoin and or cryptocurrency related security derivatives is earning some investment income. A lot of people are jumping up and down over this, and I've been starting to call out more and more people because essentially a lot of influencers don't care about retail and they only care about themselves. So a lot of individuals are pumping this like crazy because of this news. And so even on Twitter, I kind of called out all these random accounts that are saying things along these lines, saying patience is key and Hologram will see $30 to $40, if not days and weeks. And this is something I've stated. I know I've even seen some comments saying, hey, I hate this guy, meaning me, but I'm right. And yeah, I get it. I might not be likable. I'm very blunt, straight to the point. But honestly, even if you get in right now, about 6-7 months down the line, you are going to lose about 80% of your equity. I mentioned that right here. I mentioned that here. I mentioned it almost everywhere, that you will be losing your equity. So a lot of pumpers like this is going to lure in more and more retail. And funny enough, it's all, in my opinion, one big fugazi, one big kind of orchestrated kind of thing, because a lot of these accounts have somewhat paid type of kind of followers, such as this one. This one, a lot of people have called out, 27,000 followers, and honestly just pumps a lot of those types of stocks, Hologram, and it's just very comical at the end of the day. But no matter what, getting back down to this news. So ultimately, it's kind of funny how it technically says Bitcoin and crypto related security derivatives. So it'd be kind of funny if they actually invested in just nothing but Fartcoin, for instance, and no Bitcoin whatsoever. But because all they're talking about is that they're kind of making some investment income, but nonetheless, I think a lot of people are jumping up and down over this, saying, hey, they have 200 plus million and plus this investment, like they're technically shouldn't be worth, like, let's say a 5-6 mil market cap, which in reality, I don't think a lot of people actually fathom the fact that all of this, what they did potentially buy either Bitcoin or another cryptocurrency with, was borrowed money. That's no different than any of you. You technically max out your margin on your broker account. You make, let's say, 5%, and then you kind of make a PR about it. Hey, I made 5%. I have now 1.2 million. But you kind of neglect to say that that 1.2 million is borrowed money. So it's just a lot of people don't fathom and understand exactly what Hologram is doing. And all of this news is very strategic because, as I've mentioned, you really need to watch for abnormal spikes in the volume. So 21st, 17th, just take mental note of that, because if we kind of pop over here on the 21st, we had a huge spike up, almost 3x of what it's normally, to 3.7 million. And then same for the 17th, we had 4 million. So at the end of the day, it's crazy. And then right here, July the 11th, we had 52 million. And that was the news that came out prior. So this is, I don't know why, if you invest in Hologram or any new investors get in, like honestly, all the risks are there. All the red flags are there. They use this PR to pump so that way their notes can be converted. It's just comical. And again, if anyone in my comments says that there is no dilution, you really just are not understanding exactly what is happening, because from their financials, which I think was roughly 4 million, the outstanding share count, based on this recent I think it was F3 document that they did submit right over here on July the 16th. So from the end of April to July, they 3x'd. They diluted 3x their outstanding shares. So for those of you that say, hey, dilution's not occurring, well, you're definitely very, very wrong. And even in fact, going over here, this 52 million that was traded, that shouldn't happen at all, because technically, even based on the last disclosure, there was only 14 million shares being traded, or in the outstanding share count. So that 52 should not happen unless there's been mass amount of dilution. Again, even further showing that if you get in now, you're going to lose about 80% of your equity. So do not believe influencers pumping this. Do not believe that essentially, hey, they're making a ton of money on Bitcoin and or other cryptocurrencies, which I'm sure they are making some money, but the moral of the story is all of this is borrowed money. And yeah, they can try and make as much as they can, but essentially they are going and playing with like casino money for the most part. So imagine if they lose that money with Bitcoin. For whatever reason, it just dips to 80. I'm not going to be talking about Bitcoin in this video all that much, but let's say theoretically it does dip to 80 or 70. Then what? They're losing borrowed money. And how happy are you going to be knowing that these influencers pumped it and it's going to go down so much more? So let me know your general thoughts on Hologram. As far as this goes, looking at the short interest, it does indicate 28.96% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 1.31 million shares. Ortex does take a while, want to kind of update outstanding share account and everything. So this 28% is using the old number. So if we kind of pop over here, this data does show that they're using the old numbers. So the free float was 4.52 million. Now it is roughly around 14.5. So if we just do the basic math, we should be at, I'd say, 10% short interest, maybe even 11 potentially. That's just top of the head kind of thinking, but nonetheless though, it's not a crazy short squeeze. And potentially, given the amount of dilution that they are doing, you are going to see options being launched again, and that does mean a lot more puts. And that's where I made a lot of money. I think I made 380% on just buying puts, because I saw exactly what is happening. For a very long time, I did absolutely nothing with this stock, just covered it and for kind of calling them out, but I didn't actually put my money where my mouth is. And during this spike here in, I think it was in December, that's where I did decide to buy puts. So once they do launch a lot of options, which should be coming soon, then you will see a lot of institutions start to buy puts against this and make hand over fist amounts of money. So let me know your general thoughts. Do you believe in it? What got you into it? Was it influencers? Was it just own self-greed? Because I think that's also one attributing factor why a lot of retail get in. They see these spikes and say, hey, it's long past due for another spike. I'm going to get in now. But a lot of people said that also in April 2024, when it was essentially at $2,632, essentially factoring in the reverse stock split. So you would be down 99% waiting for one of those spikes to occur. So it's, I don't know what else to say. I've kind of called them out enough. Let me know your general thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. If you are looking for some actual solid buys, pop over to my Patreon. I do give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point, not like this kind of stuff. So definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.